News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. NATO allies have agreed to at least $50 billion in defense industry deals to show President Trump that Europe is heeding his spending demands. Some of those contracts show Europe moving to locally source some equipment that it had previously bought from the U.S. Other contracts show deeper ties to some U.S. manufacturers like Northrop Grumman and Airbus. And we'll get back to NATO shortly. But for now, we turn to New York City, where a high-rise office building that's under renovations is at risk of collapse. Mayor Zohran Mamdani.
At about 8 a.m., FDNY received reports that bricks were falling from a building under construction on East 42nd Street between 2nd and 3rd Avenue. And first responders have found structural issues on the 21st floor.
Officials inspecting the building found 2 support columns inside were buckling and several upper floors were sagging. The building is more than 30 stories tall. It is the former headquarters of Pfizer, which is being converted into residential units. Back to NATO now. President Trump indicated he may try to reverse a ban on Turkey buying F-35 fighter jets from the U.S.
It's a decision we're going to make. We have a very good relationship. I would think that many people, I can tell you, many people, including the people sitting right here, thinks, why wouldn't we do that?
Trump says the U.S. has a better relationship with Turkey and that Turkey has been more loyal to the U.S. than other countries. Trump was also critical of NATO's abilities to function without American leadership in power, moving to withdraw U.S. troops from Europe and casting doubt on whether the U.S. would come to the aid of a NATO ally under attack.
Well, we're going to see. I was very disappointed with NATO.
Trump added that had the summit not been held in Turkey, he might not have attended. At the NATO summit, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky argued that today's wars had shown more needs to be done to protect against ballistic missiles.
The one thing we still need to do here in Europe is build a strong defense against Russia's ballistic missiles. This is a big challenge, it's true. This is Russia's last major advantage.
Zelensky urged NATO allies to increase their supply of Patriot missile systems, which he said were excellent, but not enough. Turning to the Middle East, the British military says 2 tankers have been struck by projectiles in the Strait of Hormuz in the latest attacks targeting vessels moving through the strait. Bloomberg's Anne-Marie Hordern.
Given the fact that we just had this cutter vessel hit earlier this morning in the Strait of Hormuz, is going to be whether or not Europe has the ability physically with hardware or the political will to support the United States when it comes to the conflict in Iran and truly opening up the Strait of Hormuz.
Bloomberg's Anne-Marie Hordern traveling with the president at the NATO summit. Oil prices now higher. WTI crude oil is up 2.8%, and Brent crude is up more than 3%. A sell-off in chip makers dragged down the stock market on concerns over whether AI investments are worth the cost. We check the markets for you all day long here at Bloomberg. The S&P 500 down 0.3%. NASDAQ down 0.7%. The Dow down 0.3%. The 10-year Treasury yield at 4.52%. And the 2-year yield at 4.14%. Samsung's quarterly profit surged 19-fold, prompting investors to cash out of a near 150% rally that had baked in the AI-fueled growth. Samsung shares more than 9% lower, and SpaceX trading on the NASDAQ 100 today. Shares of SpaceX nearly 5% lower. Amazon is looking to raise at least $25 billion from a U.S. dollar bond sale to spend funding on AI infrastructure. Bloomberg Tech's Ed Ludlow says the money has to come from somewhere.
In quick succession, for the second time, it's looking at the US IG market, and Bloomberg's reporting $25 billion across 8 tranches, maturities 3 to 40 years. On a weighted cost of capital basis, it makes total sense for these hyperscalers to use the debt market to finance massive capex.
The company has raised more than $82 billion from high-grade bond sales across different currencies since last year and is expected to spend almost $200 billion this year. Reform UK leader Nigel Farage says he will quit his parliament seat and seek re-election in an attempt to clear his name over financial allegations. Farage faces a pro-Biden by Parliament Standards Watchdog over a $6.7 million gift from a Thailand-based cryptocurrency billionaire. Marine Le Pen was cleared to enter the 2027 French presidential race after appeal judges shortened her election ban, yet upheld her conviction for embezzling European Union funds. Le Pen must now decide on her future plans as she was handed a one-year jail term that will likely require wearing an electronic device for at least part of that time. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris, and this is Bloomberg.